What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about the finale of Loki Season 2 and how it connects to the upcoming projects such as Deadpool 3, Avengers Kang Dynasty, and Avengers Secret Wars. So guys, before we get way deep into this, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to support the channel, consider becoming a member or joining us over on Patreon. All the videos that I record go to Patreon and members first before they get released onto YouTube. We also have links to merchandise over on Teespring and merchandise on Amazon.com. Both are great ways to support the channel. And with that being said, let's take a look at the Loki Season 2 finale. We saw at the end of the finale that Loki essentially becomes the new He Who Remains. He's literally holding the multiverse together and giving life to all the branches of each individual timeline. But this works in favor of the Kangs because the Kang Dynasty was shown at the end of Ant-Man Quantumania that they have assembled all of the Kangs outside of the multiverse timeline. As you can see that they are in the same kind of dimension that He Who Remains was in the entire time. He Who Remains was actually keeping all these Kangs from existing by purging all of the extra timelines, creating one sacred timeline. He goes on to explain that the Loom was actually another way of purging timelines. Any timeline that didn't get purged by a TVA would get purged by the Loom, creating just the one sacred timeline. And now that Loki has essentially destroyed the Loom and is now holding the multiverse together and creating a tree of life with multiverse branches branching out into life, Loki now is officially tied up. This paves the way for the Kang Dynasty to reign terror on the multiverse. We saw Kang the Conqueror in Ant-Man Quantumania, and he was the exiled Kang because his whole philosophy was he wanted to eliminate all other Kangs so that he was the only one left to rule the multiverse. Kang Dynasty exiled him to the quantum realm so that he could not do any damage to the timelines or take out any more of the Kangs. Quantumania takes place after Loki Season 1, in which the multiverse has already been unleashed and He Who Remains has been killed by Sylvie. However, He Who Remains had a failsafe. He literally had this plan in place that would keep him alive, as Loki would essentially do what he does in Season 2 to save his life. The difference is that this Loki realized, I can rewrite the equation and I can change things. The entire time, you guys, in Loki Season 2, Loki and his TVA squad have always been saying that all these people that lived in these alternate timelines, these alternate branches of the multiverse, they all deserve to live. And they're trying to save everyone's life who exists within these extra branches of the multiverse. So now that Loki is essentially the new He Who Remains, Loki is literally tied up holding all the multiverse timelines together in this beautiful tree of life. So what comes next? What happens after Loki Season 2? This is going to lead directly into Deadpool, and we know that in Deadpool, the TVA are in Deadpool 3. They arrest Deadpool because of his meddling within the multiverse, killing other variants of himself. And it is my prediction that when he gets apprehended and taken to the TVA, that's when he sees the Hugh Jackman Wolverine and discovers that the TVA is secretly trying to assemble a team of heroes to fight against the Council of Kangs. We saw at the end of Loki Season 2 that the TVA is keeping tabs on He Who Remains, but I'm sure they've eventually figured out that there are thousands of Kangs are missing from each and every timeline, because we saw at the end of Quantumania, the Council of Kangs has come together and they've removed as many as they could to join their cause outside of the multiverse timelines.
Are you ready?
Deadpool 3 will look to introduce Hugh Jackman's Wolverine back to the MCU and more of the X-Men, which I believe X-Men 97 will likely be the origin of this Wolverine and of the X-Men that we saw at the end of the Marvels, in which we saw a Maria Rambeau as Binary and Kelsey Grammer as Beast. His design looks an awful lot like the design in the X-Men animated series. That's why I believe that X-Men 97 will be the origin story for this version of the X-Men on this other world that Monica Rambeau wakes up to. Yes, we have other projects like the Thunderbolts, Blade, if it ever gets made, Daredevil Born Again, if and when it gets made. But I think these would be more of a grounded series that would be essentially on Earth 616 and just kind of shows you what's been happening on Earth while the other characters are dealing with the multiverse saga. Now we get to Avengers Kang Dynasty, and I think in this film what we're going to see is the Kangs are going to wage war on the multiverse, attacking different branches of the multiverse. Loki, I believe, will make an appearance sometime during Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars, but because of his new position as the new He Who Remains, he will be limited on what he can do, because the moment he lets go of any of those multiversal timelines, they will begin to die. This will also give birth to the Young Avengers, and I believe that the current Avengers team, if you want to call it that, will be the ones to first take on Kang on Earth 616, and many of them will lose. And I think that the Young Avengers will come together in the wake of their loss. And then as we get to Avengers Secret Wars, this will be a full-on assembling of the Multiversal Heroes League, which will basically be Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, many of the X-Men, classic Avengers such as Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, Chris Evans' Captain America, Black Widow, and the ones who currently reside such as Thor, Doctor Strange, Shang-Chi, the Young Avengers, and so on and so forth. You're going to get a massive army of heroes to take on the Council of Kangs. Now, in the original Secret Wars back in 1984, it was heroes versus villains, and the Beyonder was taking them to a separate battle world where they can fight each other. So I think you're going to kind of get that a little bit, but instead of having heroes versus villains, it's going to be heroes versus the Kang Dynasty. Because the TVA will say, hey, we need to assemble our own army to take on the Kang Dynasty because they are just way too powerful. Guys, let me know what you think about this prediction that Loki Season 2 will then lead right into Deadpool, that will then lead into Kang Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars. Now, I know there's been a lot of rumors out there saying that, Kevin Feige is gonna pivot away from Kang Dynasty and move towards Doctor Doom, which is a possibility. But my thing is this, is that if you're going to introduce a character like Victor Von Doom, Doctor Doom, a maniacal, intelligent, powerful villain, I do not want him to get shoehorned into the MCU to replace Kang. At this point, you ride out your Kang Dynasty, and then you introduce Doctor Doom in a Fantastic Four movie when you soft reboot the MCU. Now, there's a chance that Fantastic Four will come out before Avengers Kang Dynasty, and I still believe that you're going to get Doctor Doom in that movie, and then after Secret Wars, he'll become the main villain of the MCU. And of course, guys, this is just my prediction, so I could be completely wrong by next Tuesday. But for now, I think this is a solid plan of what they're going to be doing moving forward in the MCU. So guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. Become a member and consider joining us over on Patreon to support the channel. Check out the merchandise links down below. We're also, in the coming weeks, going to be giving away a copy of Zack Snyder's Justice League and this Game of Thrones Iron Anniversary Pez collection as a way of saying thank you for supporting and watching the channel. Guys, we have more videos coming up in the coming weeks, so definitely make sure you subscribe and smash that bell notification button so you're always notified of any new content the channel puts out, and I'll catch you guys next time.